How do lucid dreams compare to normal dreams? This is a very good question, but before we even talk about it, we need to ask the question, how can we compare dreams? In this podcast, we use content analysis to compare dreams, and we use this method of comparison to explore all the fascinating characters, events, and places of lucid dreams from a live database of many lucid dreams. Some people compare dreams to omens. Others reduce them to psychological meaning, while other people measure brainwaves. In my research, I use content analysis of dream reports as a primary way to compare dreams, which is a research method that we'll introduce in this video before we compare lucid dreams to all dreams. Have you ever had a dream so vivid that you couldn't tell if you were asleep, awake, or beyond? Have you ever woken up caught in the mysterious boundary between dreaming and reality, paralyzed yet sensing the presence of an otherworldly entity? Or maybe you've been taken by a strange light in the sky, or just slipped out of reality itself like me, only to be guided back by beings beyond human comprehension. For nearly a century, thousands of people have reported extraordinary encounters, UFOs, UAPs, non-human intelligences, and even extraterrestrials. Many of these experiences share one thing in common: a connection to dreams and dreamlike states. What can lucid dreaming reveal about these encounters? What insights might it hold for understanding the phenomena of UAPs, non-human intelligences, and the mysteries they represent? Welcome to the D-SETI podcast, where we explore the intersection of lucid dreaming and the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. I'm your host, Daniel Rekshan, a lifelong experiencer and dedicated researcher of profound dreams, strange omens, and mystical encounters. Together, we'll dive into the unknown, seeking answers to some of the universe's greatest mysteries. Is it possible to do actual science with dreams? They're elusive, fantastic, and yet you can't really repeat them, even though you might be able to re-enter them. It seems like they're not really scientific because they're so subjective, and you can never really tell if someone actually dreamed their dream or they're just making it up. Plus, dreams are ineffable, meaning that the words we use to describe them will never be enough to communicate their experience. So how can we do science with dreams? It turns out that there's an objective phenomenon associated with dreams that is repeatable and can be made subject of quantitative and statistical analysis. The phenomenon is the dreamer's response to a research prompt. What did you dream last night? Or something like that. The researcher simply asks the question, what did you do? And there's an objective phenomena. It's the report of the dream. So we're studying the dream reports people offer in response to research inquiries. We're not really studying the dreams at all. And so by using the proxy of the dream report, we can gain insights about the nature of dreaming. The words people use to describe dreams are objective phenomena. The questions researchers ask of people are repeatable phenomena. Further, we can ask people to have dreams about specific topics, to solve their problems, and to even emulate extraterrestrial or non-human intelligence or UFO, UAP contact, like we discussed in episode 2. This episode is all about the content analysis of dream reports, which forms the basis for a repeatable and quantitative science of dreaming. Stick with me to the end, and you'll find out what this science has discovered about the prevalence of extraterrestrial encounters in dreams. So now it's time for our dream reading from my dream book, Liber Visionorum Xenomanticarium, Mage Secretum Magnum. And that's a Latin phrase I made up that stands for the book of visions about extraterrestrials. The Secret Key of Magic, the Great Secret Key of Magic. This subtitle references the great Dr. John Dee from the 16th century, who used prophetic dreams as the secret key of magic And if you know anything about John Dee, he's really influenced the history of the West, of empire, of contact with extraterrestrials. So if you don't know who John Dee is and you're interested in UFO, UAP disclosure, especially how it relates to the intelligence community, just look back to John Dee. That's what I did, and I gained really clear insights about the nature of UAPs and NHIs. So this dream book is a personal dream journal that I use to explore lucid dreaming. And every night I went to bed, I had the intention to have a lucid dream that I would record and paint in the morning. And that was the way I motivated myself to have 20 lucid dreams or something like that. We are now on the 3rd page of this dream book. And we're going through one dream per episode. Just so you know, I will describe the imagery on the art. So if you're listening but not seeing, you can follow along with us. And if you want, you can go to the website or to YouTube or Spotify to see the actual images as it comes through with a podcast. The image that I am first attracted to is the image of an eye. And in this eye, there are 2 figures. It looks like an adult figure dressed with a button-down shirt. And then there's a kid wearing a red and white Where's Waldo type striped shirt and is pointing to something. The text of the dream reads, "It was a normal dream, so I almost forgot it until I awoke. I'm in the fraying, woven hallways of reality and time, and a child who is my father-in-law taught me about lucid dreams." So that is a dream that has a little bit of paradox in it. It's a lucid dream with paradox in it, not unlike other dreams. We will interpret that after the main topic of this episode. The main topic of this episode is the statistics of lucid dreaming. This episode introduces the practice of content analysis, which is the quantitative and statistical analysis of dream reports. It forms the basis of dream science. So I'm introducing you to the topic of content analysis and how I do content analysis on dreams. How do lucid dreams compare to normal dreams? This is a very good question, but before we even talk about it, we need to ask the question, how can we compare dreams? In this podcast, we use content analysis to compare dreams, and we use this method of comparison to explore all the fascinating characters, events, and places of lucid dreams from a live database of many lucid dreams. Some people compare dreams to omens. Others reduce them to psychological meaning, while other people measure brainwaves. In my research, I use content analysis of dream reports as a primary way to compare dreams, which is a research method that we'll introduce in this video before we compare lucid dreams to all dreams. The quantitative analysis of dream reports is called content analysis, and it is a statistical science. Content analysis of dreams is all about collecting dream reports and counting the number of dream elements. For example, you can compare how many family characters there are in the dream versus how many monsters or strangers. Dream scientists study how different samples of people produce different patterns of dream content. For example, scientists compare dreams from men and women. Some scientists explore the idea that patterns of dream content could even predict mental health issues. The world's largest dream databases informs the DreamWell's Data-Driven Dream Dictionary. Now that's a mouthful. At DreamWell, we analyze over 200,000 dreams from academic databases and the public internet. This is one of the largest databases of dreams in the world. We use custom-developed content analysis software based upon strategies put forward by dream researchers like William Domhoff, Kelly Bulkeley, Michael Schradel, just to name a few. We put up this dictionary at dictionary.dreamwellbewell.com as a way to share our approach to scientifically studying dreams and to inspire people to explore what it would be like to use statistics to inform how they interpret dreams in general. So let's go through some basic findings from the DreamWell's Data-Driven Dream Dictionary. Lucid dreams have more fantastic characters, more fun, and happen more in magical or natural places. Here is an image from Dreamwell's content analysis system that summarizes lucid dreams. The circular bar chart shows how related various symbols are to lucidity. The higher bar charts indicate that lucid dreaming is more related to specific symbols in the graph. Lower bars indicate that lucid dreaming is less related to specific symbols in the graph. So we can look here and see that lucid dreaming is related to sleep paralysis, good dreams, and nightmares. But there's not that much mention of lucid dreams with vivid dreams or weird dreams, which is interesting to me. We can see that lucid dreaming is much more fun than fearful, and embarrassment is less associated with lucid dreams than one might expect. Sex and health events are really high up there with lucid dreams, while death and aggressive acts, surprisingly, are pretty low. Here we see magical places and natural places as pretty well associated with lucid dreams, but human-made places not so much. We see that smelling and taste is highly associated with lucid dreams, but vision and touch surprisingly aren't. And finally, we can see the presence of fantastic beings and insects to be much more prevalent in lucid dreams than family, which might shed some insight on the dream search for extraterrestrial intelligence. The data-driven dream dictionary helps us see that lucid dreams involve much less dream characters than other dreams, although fantastic beings and insects seem to be the most popular lucid dream type. What are emotions in lucid dreams? We can see that lucid dreaming has less emotions than other dreams, except it has more words related to fun than other dreams. Similarly, lucid dreams have less words about places than other dreams, but we see that they involve more natural places, magical places, and schools than other place types. Dreamwell's data-driven dream dictionary has so much more. I just wanted to introduce you to the idea of comparing dreams through content analysis and numbers. Each installation in this series will investigate one part of the world of lucid dreaming. You can check out Dreamwell's data-driven dream dictionary at dictionary.dreamwellbewell.com, and you can type in what topic you want to look at in the search, from apples to angels to zebras, and we'll give you a report about the 200,000 dreams in that database and how they compare to other dreams and things like that. You can be part of the scientific exploration of lucid dreaming. The world of lucid dreaming was discovered by Western science in the 1970s. Imagine what we'll discover in the dream world when we look using scientific methodologies. The world of lucid dreaming was discovered by Western science in the 1970s, before the dawn of the internet age and computers. We haven't really applied all the internet technology we've developed to the science of dreams. Imagine what we discover in the dream world when we look using these scientific methodologies. You can be part of the discovery by learning to lucid dream and explore the world yourself. One of the most beautiful things about dream science is that it involves storytelling, because there's no way to observe what happened in someone else's dream without them telling you. I hope that D-SETI has inspired you to share some dreams. I'd love to hear them if you'd like to share. Please comment below or reach out to me through dseti.org. Now it's time to interpret the dream from the dream book, Liber Visionorum Xenomanticarium. This is the third dream in the illustrated dream book, and I'll just read it to you again and then we'll interpret it. It was a normal dream, so I almost forgot it until I awoke. In the fraying, woven hallways of reality and time, a child who is my father-in-law taught me about lucid dreams. And I really love this dream. This is one of the more powerful dreams in the series, actually, and this identifies itself as a normal dream that teaches me about lucid dreams. So first and foremost, I'll say this was something like you would call it a semi-lucid dream. Semi-lucid meaning I'm having themes of lucidity, but I'm not fully aware of lucid dreaming. I'm thinking about memory, I'm thinking about awareness, I'm thinking about lucid dreaming. Lucid dreaming's coming to me from the dream world, but I'm not actually lucid dreaming. And there's so many times like that in dreams where you're flying, or I'm going through a wall or something like that, and things just don't add up like they would in normal waking reality. And yet I don't even realize how bizarre the dream is. And that's one of the characteristics of dreaming, is you have these bizarre experiences, but you don't realize that they're bizarre, and so you take it as normal. This was the experience I had with my dream. It was a normal dream. And so I almost forgot it until I awoke. So in the sense of waking up, I'm like, okay, this is a normal dream. I don't need to remember it. It's not lucid. And this is key. This is a beautiful message, and we'll tune into this throughout the D-SETI podcast series, is the importance of recording dreams by habit. When you wake up, you're not in a condition to make the discernment whether or not you should be recording the dream. You should just do it, because there's so much richness in every dream that you record. This one was like that. I talk about this dream in this dream series more than any other one. I think about it, I talk to my father-in-law about it, and it's really, really kind of potent. So that's a practice I'd invite you to do, is wake up and record your dreams, even if you want to forget them. So I'm in the fraying, woven hallways of reality and time. This sort of is a familiar place to me, where I'm kind of coming back into waking. I'm coming out of a space that seems eternal, that seems outside of space and time. That's one of the reasons why I'm interested in dreams, is because it feels like it goes to a realm of eternity, the spirit realm, some other real third place, an imaginal realm, something like that. And I'm coming back from it. And the question for me is, how does my consciousness relate and things like that? The dream itself here provides an image. That's my father-in-law as a child leading me and teaching me about lucid dreams. How interesting is that? My father-in-law at the time wasn't really interested in dreaming, doesn't report having many dreams, doesn't lucid dream. He's older than me, not younger than me, obviously. And it's really interesting because in the image itself, he's wearing this red and white striped shirt, which I probably didn't even think about, but it is Where's Waldo. And we're now living in his basement for the winter, and my sons and I love Where's Waldo. And so we got into these books like crazy here. So this image of my father-in-law wearing a Where's Waldo shirt is actually meaningful. I go, wow, that actually references something here. The other thing that I found to be really potent about this is my father-in-law shared a story. I ask him about this dream all the time. I go, you were in my dream book. What does that mean? I'm asking you about the dreams. Let's just talk about it. And so we talk about it every week, this dream. And the thing that we have come to understand is that when he was a kid, he had a series of nightmares, and he said a very heartfelt prayer to God to take away the dreams. And he doesn't remember dreaming after that. The dreams were taken away. His nightmares were no longer there. The dreams were taken away, and he doesn't remember them. Another thing he reports is a sense of issue with memory and things like that. And so we've been exploring the notion that the prayer to relieve him of dreams sort of impacted a kind of memory consolidation practice. I have a kind of hypothesis, right, that there is a sort of self-induced hypnotic amnesia about the dreaming and kind of its related effects in his life, and has sort of impacted this sort of short-term memory experience. I think we'll get more insight coming up. I had a few dreams about Hobson and his theories. Hobson is a really brain-based dream researcher, and that will give us insight about how dreams relate to the consolidation of memory. Right now in this dream, the presence of my father-in-law teaching me about lucid dreams, sharing his prayer to have no dreams and these issues with memory, really is a kind of guidance to me personally, that the dream world is telling me, hey, dreaming, awareness of dreaming, and how we relate to it is very impactful. It can subtly shift our awareness of the whole world and how we relate to those nocturnal dreams. And if we choose to remember or choose to forget, our life might be different. I can't imagine what it would be like if on the third day of my lucid dreaming dream book experience, I said, yeah, I'll forget this dream, right? I was, every single night I was on it, I go, I have to record it every single night, whatever I record. And with that motivation, it was not conditional. It was an unconditional motivation. I'm recording this. And I did that. I recorded this dream, and it has produced a dozen hours of rich conversation between me and my father-in-law that I really appreciate, that have been guiding me through lucid dreaming. That's literally what it's doing. And so this dream, I almost forgot it, but it had so much meaning after the fact. And I think dreams are like that. So if you think your dreams are meaningless, that you can't remember them or whatever, I would challenge you to make an unconditional motivation that tomorrow morning you're going to record whatever you have in your memory, whatever feelings, whatever imagery, whatever intuitions. Just write them down in your dream book or a journal that's special to you. And just know that perhaps in the future, there will be other information that contextualizes it, and that perhaps this dream, even if it is meaningless to you, will guide your experience just by working with it. And I think that really for me is what dreams are teaching me, is we are in a collaboration with the unconscious, the irrational, the spiritual, the other than human, the non-human world, extraterrestrials, whatever you call them. We're in conversation with them. We're in collaboration with them to unfold this dream of life on Earth. And just by dreaming, we collaborate and communicate with them. There's no other major purpose besides a collaboration and a connection with what you already are. And that's what my alien dream book has really taught me. And that's what I'm sharing with you, is that if you seek extraterrestrials and dreams, you will find yourself on Earth. And I think that's a beautiful journey to go on. Okay, so now it's time for our quote from Dream Research. This quote comes from a powerful paper I always keep coming back to. It's a little bit boring and dry. It's called Typical Dreams, Stability and Gender Differences. It is written by Schradel, Serki, Goetz, and Whitman, a sleep laboratory from Germany. I'm sorry about the pronunciation. I'm going to read the abstract and then kind of explain it to you. Although the variability of dream content is large, typical dream themes that occur quite often and are reported by many people can be identified. For example, being chased, falling, flying, failing an examination, being unable to find a toilet or restroom. The present study is an investigation of the stability of the rank order of the dream themes and of gender differences in the content of dreams. The authors administered the typical dream questionnaire to 444 participants. The findings indicated that most of the 55 dream themes occurred at least once in most of the participants' lifetimes. In addition, the correlation coefficients for the rank order of the themes were very high. That is, the relative frequencies were stable. The gender differences in the present study were in line with the content analytic findings. For example, men reported dreams about physical aggression more often than did women. Overall, previous research and the present data indicate that available research results of measurements of typical dream themes are reliable and valid. The question of the meaning of these themes or relationships between typical dream content and waking life experiences, however, have not yet been answered and is open to future research. So for me, I'm sharing this paper because it really says content analysis is a valid way of looking at dreams. There are typical dream themes for people. So the dreams about fighting or fleeing or flying or unable to find a restroom or whatever, they are stable. The number one dream is more or less number one. Number 50 is more or less 50. And that there are findings from content analysis, meaning you analyze different groups of people's dreams to come to conclusions, like physical aggression is more often in male dreams versus dreams from women. These findings are valid and reliable. That's what this is saying. So one of the reasons why I keep coming back to this study is they ask a few things that are really related to extraterrestrials and the dream search for extraterrestrial intelligence, right? So number 29 in the typical dream questionnaire is relating to a topic of vividly sensing, but not necessarily seeing or hearing a presence in the room. It turns out that 23% of people experience this, and that there's no major difference between men and women dreams. So having this experience of something in your room is actually quite typical. The same thing about being half awake and paralyzed in bed. 18% of people say yes, they've had dreams like this. So now we're seeing that 23% of people have sensed a presence, 18% of people have been paralyzed, just like in alien abduction, right? 16% of people have been smothered, unable to breathe. 12% of people have encountered God in some form. About 12% of people have seen a flying object crash. 11% see angels. 6.5% have seen an extraterrestrial. 6.3% have traveled to another planet. 4.5% of people have seen a UFO in dreams, right? So now we're getting to statistics, right? This is really interesting because if you look to alien abduction surveys or extraterrestrial contactee surveys or non-human intelligence things, people will say, hey, there's about 2 to 5% of people that seem to actually experience this. That's the sort of number that seems valid based on these reports. And yet 5% of people or 6% of people have seen an alien in their dreams, a UFO, right? This is common. So if we're looking at this scientifically, if we're looking at trying to figure out what's going on with extraterrestrial contact, we actually have to account for dreams. The other statistic we need to bring in is how often do people confuse dreams and reality? Like, how often does that happen? This term is called dream reality confusion, and it's hard to say how often that happens because how do you actually know? But around 15% of people have reported, yeah, they've been confused as to whether or not something happened in a dream or waking. And if you have a sort of tendency towards fantasy proneness or being absorbed into dreams and things like that, it might be really easy to confuse one of these dreams about UFOs, extraterrestrials, sleep paralysis, presences in the room with a veridical, objective, non-dream based experience, right? Like an actual alien in the room abducting you. The thing that I think is so important is to really look at the contents of these reports. And the contents of the abduction reports really seems to me like the contents of sleep paralysis and other dream-based reports, right? They're based in bedrooms oftentimes. There's presences that are felt strangely. There's bizarre things happening, but you're not really going, hey, I'm in a dream. You're going, something is happening. This feels very real. Dreams do feel very real, especially some types of dreams. That's one of the other things that comes up out of the statistical study of dreams is we really don't know what dreams are. And you cannot say for sure that wasn't a dream because I know for a fact, right? Dreams feel ultra real and you get confused between reality, waking reality, and dreams. And so that's one thing that we need to established as a first premise in our D-SETI investigations is that you can have a dream about an extraterrestrial that feels real and perhaps even has anomalous physical effects in your life, but actually resolves into something like a dream. Now, of course, I say that dreams are real, impactful, meaningful, true third realm or imaginal realm or something like that. And yet we have to integrate the science of these things because there's two possibilities, right? One possibility is that the extraterrestrials know our sleep cycle so well that they've developed external technology, physical technology that can induce sleep paralysis and dream states in us, but not so well that we don't remember them or don't talk about them. So they have imperfect technology that induces sleep paralysis perfectly, but not memory consolidation things. So that doesn't seem likely to me. The other thing that seems really likely to me is that we're actually experiencing contact through dreams, actually dreams, but that dreams bring us into a different order of reality. Different order of reality. So they're still using technology. It's just dream-based technology dealing with our dreams themselves. So that's what these statistics, when I glom all the statistics together from the dream research, I go, something's going on here and it's real and it's confusing people. But the confusion isn't about whether or not these extraterrestrials are real, paralyzing people or whatever, or their meaningful engagement. The confusion is how those events happen in the world and how the actions of those beings paralyze us, right? They paralyze us. They're not causing the paralysis. We are causing the paralysis in our natural sleep and dream cycles or something like that. It's a response. It's a back and forth. It's not them to us. We're responding physiologically in a natural way to paralysis and presences or whatever. So I say that needs to be explored more, but I think it's so beautiful that we have decades of dream research that have collected dreams that we can analyze. We go, what are typical dreams? And we can say, hey, dreaming of a UFO, an alien, feeling paralyzed, experiencing a presence in your room, those things are typical and normal. So that's it for today's episode about the statistics of lucid dreaming. I hope that you've connected with some inspiration or insight about using lucid dreams to explore extraterrestrial contact. It's exciting to think that aliens or UFOs could be visiting us from other planets with technological craft that are beyond our comprehension, that if we were to study them would reveal another order of reality, that would reveal more technology and give us innovations and things like that. I say that's absolutely true because I look to the history of dreaming and I know that powerful people, inspirational people, transformative people have dreamed of encounters with beings from other worlds or levels of reality who have inspired them to innovation and discovery and science. And that is typical of humanity. Dream incubation for problem solving is typical for humanity. It is a typical dream type to have angels talk to you about the nature of reality and give you a revelation through your dreams. This is typical. Look to every culture, every religion, every kind of major development of humanity, and you will find dreamers dreaming contact with another order of reality that's communicating with them insights. And we'll talk about that, how to do that throughout this podcast season. Just know that there is a quantitative statistical science that we can apply to these very subjective, non-scientific phenomena and actually do science upon them. How beautiful is that? In the next episode, we will talk about my story about lucid dreaming, why I care so deeply about this, and how the original scientists who discovered and proved lucid dreaming also documented extraordinary encounters with things like extraterrestrials. Thank you for being with me on this D-SETI journey. D-SETI stands for the Dream Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence. You can connect with me or D-SETI at dseti.org. That's www.dseti.org. You can get information about the topics I'm talking about. You can read my articles I've written about this, get my books. I've written 4 books specifically on this subject. You can join a dream group. You can schedule time with me to talk about dream work or hypnosis. You can schedule those sessions all on dseti.org. You can find D-SETI on YouTube and Spotify for the video podcast, or you can listen to the audio version wherever you get your podcasts. So I'm doing this because I believe that dreams about extraterrestrials, non-human intelligences, UFOs, UAPs are some of the most inspiring dreams that we can encounter, because I believe they hold a lot of the reality of this third realm, this imaginal realm, the real world of the dream, the shamanic spirit realm. These things are actually very real, and communicating through the unreal illusions of extraterrestrial and UFO dreams, right? We have a deceptive narrative going on with UAP disclosure, but that doesn't mean that the underlying phenomena of the UFO abduction or the ET dreams is unreal or illusory. And I'm sharing this information because I believe that if we paid attention to these very powerful dreams, that we could bring forward the innovations that people are looking for in the recovered craft or the crash retrieval programs. You are the program, you are the craft, your dreams are the technology, and the history of philosophy and science and math and religion will reveal to you that dreams have guided humanity forward, and we need to turn to our dreams, not whistleblowers, for truth in UAP disclosure here and now in 2025. Thank you for being with me on this journey. Thank you for searching your dreams for extraterrestrial intelligence. May you discover that your own intelligence is the source of many of these things. And may you discover that your own intelligence is capable of bringing you and humanity to the stars.